Let's bring in our political editor, Andrew Clennell. And Andrew, we're standing by to take our viewers live to Macquarie Street to Question Time, where the Premier will face scrutiny, but she's already copped a fair bit of scrutiny today.
Yes, well, we just had the press conference there, and I guess she was steadfast in saying she's done nothing wrong. She's only saying, the Premier, I've made mistakes in my personal life with Daryl Maguire. A lot of the evidence at ICAC that we heard yesterday raises questions about her professional duties, namely whether she should have reported concerns around Daryl Maguire being an MP at the same time as getting developments lobbied through and getting a cut from them, Kieran. But the problem for the Premier, as you'll see from this exchange with me in the press conference, is once she admits that she's got something wrong professionally in relation to this, frankly, she'll have to resign, and also she might even be in trouble at ICAC. So she has to stick to that particular line. Now, you're right at the top of the program to say she's apologised to the party room. I understand that's correct today. Ministers backed her up. She apologised for any embarrassment. But again, there's just a steadfast denial here of any wrongdoing. At one point, I actually asked her, look, you've been an MP for 17 years. I've known Gladys Berejiklian for most of that time. Have you ever had this situation before, or any other situations where MPs have discussed with you doing land deals on the side and getting a cut? And she couldn't answer whether that had ever happened before. It does seem highly unusual. The question is raised too. Daryl Maguire's implicated by ICAC in 2018. Why does she not then, when that occurs, go to the ICAC and give them everything she's got in terms of his conversations on land deals, Badgerys Creek, on all these other matters? She had some information then she could have supplied for ICAC. Anyway, have a listen to this. Premier, you knew that Daryl Maguire was up to no good, didn't you? When you said to him in a 2017 phone call, when he was talking about Badgerys Creek land deals, I don't need to know that bit.
Mr Clennell, I reject that assumption strongly. I've always acted in the best interest of the people of this state. I've not done anything wrong. I've not done anything wrong, and the matters you raise have already been looked at by the integrity body. I will not tolerate, never have and never will, any improper conduct by any MP. And
but the problem is no one can take you seriously after this affair, can you? And it's not about the personal, it's about the professional. Why didn't you pull up Daryl Maguire in any of these phone calls? Why didn't you report any of this behaviour? He was clearly lobbying for developers while you were Premier and he was a parliamentary secretary. Why didn't you act on this, Premier?
Well, look, that's all your opinion, Mr Clennell, but I'll say this.
It's in the evidence, Premier.
But I'll say this. At all times, I've acted in the best interests of this state. Had I known that any wrongdoing was occurring at any stage, I would not have hesitated to act. In fact, I acted very swiftly when I've had to.
You said to him, they seem to think it's in your electorate. I didn't say anything to my staff. Why was that?
Well, look, at all times I've maintained a distinction between my personal and private life and the public office I hold.
Yes, but this involves the public office. Why
Exactly.
didn't you tell your staff that it was outside his electorate, and why didn't it raise alarm bells for you that he was lobbying for matters outside his electorate? It must have, Premier.
Look, it's really important for me to stress again that at all times there was a clear distinction between my personal life and the way I conducted my public office. There always has been and always will be. But I also appreciate very much that at all times, if there is any example where I feel the integrity of the office someone holds is not being held to the standards accepted by the public, of course I will take action.
Will you apologise to the party room today? Will you apologise to the people of New South Wales for not dobbing in Daryl Maguire earlier?
Well, look, I've already made my comments known extensively yesterday, and I say I appreciate, and I did yesterday, I appreciate the difficult circumstances that have arisen, but I also appreciate that at all stages I did everything I had to do in relation to executing my job in public
But why
office.
did you think it was okay for him to get a commission, to get a cut? Just explain that, please.
At the end of the day, what guides us in this place, so the rules that are in this place. MPs, depending on the office they hold, have restrictions, but they also have obligations.
Premier, you've been in this place for 17 years. At any other time, has an MP spoken to you about getting a cut on a land deal?
Well, look, at the end of the day, we know that members have multiple interests.
Sorry, Premier, yes or no? Has any other MP spoken to you in your 17 years in Parliament about getting a cut on a land deal?
Well, Mr. Clennell, I can't recollect what every single MP has said to me over 17 years. And if I gave you an answer today, it wouldn't be honest, because who could remember back 17 years worth of conversations?
Okay, so
that
Premier, ICAC says he has
and
a case to answer all corruption allegations against him in 2018. He forced him out of Parliament. Isn't that the moment where professionally you have to say, I either remain Premier or I'm with this man?
Well, again, please look at my comments yesterday, which I answered extensively, Mr. Clennell.
A robust news conference there with Andrew Clennell grilling Premier Berejiklian. Andrew, as I said, the Premier to face some tough questions, some further tough questions from the Labor opposition at question time about 5 minutes from now.